Tonight we have another chance to see the top team in 4A on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel as we're at Ridgeline. Yeah, the Riverhawks are a machine. They're just plowing through people. One of the top scoring offenses in the state, one of the top defenses in the state as far as scoring defenses and not giving up points. Tonight it's homecoming for the Riverhawks, and they've got crosstown rival Logan. Logan's a team that won their first 2 games, and since then they haven't won. And they've really been trying to find themselves again. They're in this really tough stretch right now against very good teams, and it's another uphill climb for them tonight against the #1 team in 4A, Ridgeline. Will Ridgeline keep it going, or will they have a little bit of a letdown, and will the Logan Grizzlies have a chance to come in here and pull off what would be the biggest upset of the season? We're going to find out tonight on the Game of the Week. I had a chance to talk with Coach Travis Cox this week about his Ridgeline team, and I reminded him that when we talked early in the season, before the first game that we saw them, way back when, that their biggest question mark was their offensive line. They had good players. They felt like they had good players. They just didn't have a lot of experience up there, and well, they've really come together and really played well, that offensive line. He said, yeah, you know, we've ran the ball well all year, and he gave a lot of credit to not just the players, but his coaching staff that really coached up those young players. He pointed out to me that not only was that offensive line fairly young, he said we start 17 or 18 juniors on both sides of the ball. So we've got a lot of young players that have gotten themselves a lot of experience over the last couple of years, and he credits that with a lot of the reason why Ridgeline's so successful this year. They got another year. That's bad news for the rest of the region.
Say the word base.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years. The Grizzlies coming in, they've lost their last 4 games. As we get started here at Ridgeline, welcome to the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. It's homecoming at Ridgeline. Ridgeline will be kicking off #1 in 4A. And just a juggernaut of a team going against a Logan team that won their first 2 games and they've lost 4 in a row. And they're trying to right the ship, and that's a big task tonight playing against Ridgeline. A Ridgeline team that's #3 in 4A in scoring and #2 by 1 point in scoring defense. Stansbury's the #1 scoring defense in 4A. They've given up 1 less point than Ridgeline. Ridgeline with multiple guys being looked at for the college ranks. Logan, a young team trying to rebuild things. Favero, the sophomore quarterback, turns and hands it to Birch. Birch had a good game last week, 84 yards as the running game was a plus for the Grizzlies in their 42-21 loss to Green Canyon. They scored on their first possession, marched right down the field. Easton Favero, the sophomore quarterback, had a tough night with 4 interceptions. 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season for Favero, 1,247 yards. Going against a big defense here tonight. Hands it off again, and it'll be 3rd down and 5 after a gain of 2 by Birch. Birch, another sophomore. So you got a sophomore running back, sophomore quarterback. You got some sophomores playing at the receiver spots. Reed Olson, number 6, though, is a senior. He's in the middle to the top of your screen. Going over top, Avila is open. He got behind the defense, and he picks up big yardage. 37 yards on 3rd down with the quick pop. Favero to Avila. This is what the Grizzlies did on their first possession against Green Canyon last week. Run, and then bam. They hit Reed Olson over the middle. Olson being recruited by Utah State, among others. Ball's on the turf. It bounced right back to the running back, Birch. And a loss of 2. And you do not want to get behind the sticks against this Ridgeline defense. Right in the middle, Easton Hammond. I understand he's been offered by Utah State. Crew Jones, number 40, the defensive end on the right side, has offers all over the country. He's a sophomore. Turn and hand it to Birch. Birch waits for something to develop. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and it sets up a 3rd and 10.
Checked up by Hunter Knighton. Sir Hunter Knighton.
Favero goes toward the sidelines to get the play. It sends one receiver to this near side. That's McAllister. 3 to the far side, and Birch will stay in the backfield with him against what looks like it's going to be a 3-man rush. Nope, there's 5 coming. Throwing the out close to the marker for McAllister. I think he's a little bit short. Let's see. He needed 10. He got 10. So Favero right on the money. And the Grizzlies 2 for 2 on 3rd and long in this opening possession of this homecoming game for Ridgeline. 9:44 to play in the first quarter. No score as the Grizzlies go to the ground again. There's Cooper. Cooper Clark taking down a runner after a 1-yard loss. Clark, the leading tackler on this team, with 47 coming in. Coach Cox had a lot of nice things to say about Clark and his linebackers and his defensive line in general. They love their front 7. Reed Olson moves into the backfield now. That's him in motion. Turn and give it off. They follow up behind Olson, and the hole closes in a hurry. And shooting through to make the tackle is Landon Perkins, and it'll be 3rd and 14. So another 3rd and long for Logan. You're probably in a 4-down situation if you're the Grizzlies. Trying to get the play clock to run. The play clock's not running as players shuffling in and out for Logan. Now it's going. 8.5 to play in this opening quarter. Avila's going to be split wide to this right side with Olson just inside him. Plenty of time as they finally get it lined up. So this will be interesting to see what this play is. Across the middle they find Olson. Olson's big, but it doesn't matter how big you are when you got somebody hanging on to your foot. Hunter Knighton had him around the ankle and brought him down after a gain of 5 on 3rd and 14. So now it's 4th down, and Indeed, Logan will go for it. You're playing against a Ridgeline team that's averaging 37 points per game on the season and 40 and a half in region play. Favero stands in, delivers off the hands of his receiver. It would have been a first down, and the receiver couldn't pull it in. That was Skylar Jensen, and I'm sure he'd love to have that one back. The first incomplete pass of the evening for Favero, and it was a big drop, as that would have been a first down inside the 20-yard line of Ridgeline. Instead, it goes over on downs to the Big Green. Ridgeline beat Bear River last week 42-6. They're led by Nate Daly, 84 of 137, 61%, 1,458 yards, 17.3 yards per catch, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions handed to Crew Jones, and Jones rumbles for about 4. Their leading rusher is J.T. White. And he's in there now, and Jones will come off along with Clark. Spread look, and White in the backfield. Daly's going to throw. 5-man rush. Now here comes pressure. He gets away. Unloads on the run. Has a man. It's Livingston. Look out. .48 yards to Livingston, and it's a first down for Ridgeline. Livingston, another player. He's been offered by Utah State. He's really worked on his speed. He's always been a good route runner and has good hands. He worked on his speed in this offseason, and it shows this year. He's just a junior. 3 receivers to the far side. They're looking for the man in the slot. It's Livingston. Turn on the Jets. Look for the pylon. Steps inside to the 4-yard line, and it's an 18-yard gain, first and goal. Two catches, 66 yards now for Livingston. And the ball on the 4-yard line, first and goal for the Riverhawks. 6:46 to play in this first period. No score. Logan had a promising drive going on their first possession, and a drop pass on 4th down and 9. Turned the ball over to Ridgeline. 2 big pass plays later, here we are. Heavy backfield. Knighton's back there. Jones is going to get the give. Jones right up the middle. They haul him down short of the goal. Gain of 3, second and goal.
Close to the goal line.
Want to talk about this Ridgeline offensive line as this game gets going. As Jones followed them up in there, down to the 1. He'll come to the sideline. Clark will come with him. 3 wide to the near side, 1 to the far side, and White in the backfield with Daly on second and goal from the 1 as they spread the defense out. Ball's on the turf. Daly's looking for it, finds it. It's a loss of 4. Third and goal from the 5. Daly put it on the turf, never picked it up off of there and had to chase it down. When he finally found it, you could see him looking around for the ball. And he got on it before William Tolman was able to pick it up for the Grizzlies. And we've got an unsportsmanlike called on Ridgeline. Didn't see a flag, but the head officials out there calling it. So that's 15 yards, and it's third and goal at the 20, because that's a after the play foul. So first and goal from the 20, third and goal from the 20, excuse me. They go with that heavy backfield again. They run Knighton. Here's Daly underneath Cooper Clark's got some running room, picks up a block, looking for the pylon, he finds it. Got everything going one way, came back the other, and Ridgeline into the end zone first from 20 yards out on 3rd and goal. Young, celebrated kicker for this team, will step up for the PAT. Flag before the snap. As they're firing the t-shirt cannon from the track, and t-shirts flying over our head, the top of the box here. Offsides on Logan. Will does Ridgeline decide to go for 2 and at the 1.5 yard line, or do they just keep the kicking team out there? They're going to keep Young out there and just kick it from a little closer. Kick's blocked. 5:38 to play in the first quarter. Ridgeline 6, Logan 0 on the game of the week. Well, with the weather recently, you might be thinking, man, can I get a few more tomatoes out of my garden? If you need help with your garden, putting it to bed this year, or what to do to get ready for next year, see the folks at Anderson Seed and Garden. Trust the local experts at Anderson Seed and Garden. Check out their website at andersonseedandgarden.com. Helping you grow for over 80 years, it's Anderson Seed and Garden, the Game of the Week sponsor. In other games in Region 11 tonight, Green Canyon's at Mountain Crest, Skyview over the mountain at Bear River. Spanish Fork in a non-region game is at Westfield. Spanish Fork, the number 2 team in 4A. Ridgeline ranked number 1, not only in the media polls, but in the RPI. Of course, RPI decides what seeding you get in the playoffs. The kick goes into the end zone, and Logan's offense takes the field. They had something going on their first possession before they bogged down in Ridgeline territory. See if they can answer here, trailing 6-0 with 5:36 to play in the first quarter. Swinging out to the edge, looking for a block but not finding one, is Skylar Jensen. Jensen loses 4 yards.
Skylar Jensen.
Four of 5 for Favero, 48 yards. Even after that loss on that first play, Jensen just needed one block. The defender eluded the would-be blocker. No hole as Easton Hammond clogs things up there in the middle. Big number 51 is impressive. He's another one of those juniors. He's been offered. Jones came to clean it up. No gain for Birch. And it's 3rd and 15, and Logan's at their own 15-yard line. Dangerous territory for the Grizzlies. Here comes a late rusher. Favero throws it out towards Birch. It's over his head as he just had to get rid of it, and it's 4th down. In talking with Coach Travis Cox, the Ridgeline Riverhawks, and talking about his defense, he said one of the great things, as he was just raving about his defensive line, again his front 7, but specifically his defensive line, he says it is so good to be able to get pressure with 3 guys, to be able to know you can rush 3 and drop 7 or 8 and just rush 3 or 4 and still get to the quarterback. He said that's such a luxury. They're coming after this one. Low kick. And it's going to just die at the 45-yard line of Logan. And that's where Ridgeline will take over, already leading 6-0 with 4:31 to play in the first quarter. Last week, Nate Daly had a big game, 42-6 against Bear River. He was 12 of 17 on 12 completions, 307 yards, 3 touchdowns. Crew Jones, 3 catches, 99 yards, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. Boy, another penalty as they move this thing way back. Another 15-yard penalty on Ridgeline. The Riverhawks will need to clean that up as they stop things and wait for the sticks to be moved. Beautiful, beautiful night here in Millville at Ridgeline High School. It was 81 degrees when I pulled in here at 5:45 tonight. Ball's on the turf again. Daly picks it up, finds his receiver. That's Knighton. Knighton's into Logan territory with a pickup of 13. 99 yards for Daly on 4 of 4 passing, including a touchdown. There's still 4:24 to play in the first quarter. White in the backfield. They haven't handed the ball to White yet. Now they do. White right up the middle. White with a pickup of 11.
Also known as JT on the carry.
Right up the gut between those big linemen. And coming into the season, that was the big question mark, right? They felt like they had some good talent up front, but they just only had one lineman with any experience. As they're in with tight splits now, see if they run in behind him again. They're going to fake the give. Daly has to wait, finds Livingston. Good night. Three catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown for Livingston in this first quarter. Daly is 5 for 5 for 135 and 2 scores. And you saw that speed we talked about with Livingston as he just turned it on. Daly waited for him to come free, and he had time and was able to put it on him in stride. And Ridgeline lining up to go for 2. Livingston in motion, looking for him underneath. Got it. 2-point conversion is good. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Easy does it for the Riverhawks. 14-0 on the game of the week. Hey, you know, with the right branded products, you're not just top of mind, you're part of the adventure. You can boost your brand image, connect and communicate with fans, prospects, and customers for lasting impact by going to the Logo Shop. Their motto says it all, the Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. A Game of the Week sponsor. Well, the Ridgeline offense out of the gates at full speed. And now the Logan offense will take the field again, now trailing 14-0. Nate Butts, the new head coach at Logan, is passionate about getting that program back into the conversation. They've been down for the better part of a decade. Coach Cox had a lot of nice things to say about him. He said, you know, he's the perfect coach for Logan High. They're lucky to have him. He's so energetic, so positive. And this is year 1 of trying to get things going the right direction at Logan High. 4-yard carry for Birch. Tuili Masiali'i, one of the defenders in there on the tackle. Give it to Birch again. This time, Tuili Masiali'i forces him back inside, and Jones cleans up. No gain. 3rd and 7. 2:50 to play in this first period. It's been all Ridgeline. Logan took the opening kickoff, marched into Ridgeline territory, and then had a pass that was dropped on 4th and 9 that would have been a first down. Went through the hands of the receiver. Ridgeline put it in the end zone twice since then. Here on 3rd and 7, a quick hit to the outside to Jensen, who picks up a few yards, but he's going to be short of the first down.
With the reception from Logan, brings up 4th down. Headed to receive the punt, Brady Cook.
So Logan will be forced to punt again. Mason Red, we talked about sophomores. That's Red, I think, 18 on to punt. He's a freshman. Blocked. Red had to get his steps, and the kick is blocked and recovered by Ridgeline. Charlie Booth blocked it. Charlie Booth covered it up. Oh, he wanted to scoop and score, you could tell. But he just got down on it and made sure that the Riverhawks get the football at the 10-yard line. Everything going for the green. With 1:52 on the first quarter clock, the Grizzlies are in serious trouble.
Here comes Ridgeline offense.
White, the lone back in the backfield. Livingston's in the slot. Turn and give it to White. Follows his offensive line to the end zone, and they're going to say he's down at the 1-yard line. A 9-yard run by J.T. White. 2 carries, 20 yards for White. Talked to Coach Cox about him, and he says, you know, we use him a lot. He's coming back, of course, off a big injury last year, and he said, sometimes I look up and realize how much we've used him in a game because he's been running so well. He's only had 2 carries here tonight. Turn and give it to White again. Let him finish off this drive, and I don't know if he did it. Yes, he did. He got pushed back out, but they said he broke the plane. Logan met him right at the goal line and pushed him back, but he was able to get in for the touchdown with 1:13 to play in the first quarter. Young had his first PAT blocked. Ridgeline went for 2 and got it on their last possession. He punches this one a little higher and puts it through. Wasn't pretty, but the point still goes on the board. 1:13 to play in the first period. Ridgeline 21, Logan 0 on the game of the week. At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, they offer personalized hearing care tailored to your needs, from evaluations to hearing aid fittings and protection. Choosing the right professional is key. That's why you should choose Dr. Paul Daines at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Protect and improve your hearing. Schedule a consultation with Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology today. Well, Logan knew that they were going to be going up against a tough opponent here in number 1 Ridgeline tonight. To get into a 21-point hole in the first quarter was not on their list. Logan on the season averaging just under 20 points per game offensively and giving up 36 defensively. In region play, they're averaging 14 points a game, giving up 43.5. And they've played Skyview, Green Canyon, and now Ridgeline, your top 3 teams in the region, and along with Mountain Crest. They also lost to Westfield in a game that really they had a chance to win had they started fast. They started so slow, and then they came back and played much better in that second half. But that was one in this 4-game losing streak that they really felt like got away. Favero looking for Olsen, too tall, and that's saying something because Olsen is a big, big young man, about 6'4", 6'5". And we got a whistle, and they stop the clock with 1:05 after the incomplete pass. I think they were just getting the clock stopped. Favero started 4 of 6 for 51 yards, 37 yards on his first completion as he hit Avila out of the backfield right down the seam after a couple of runs. 2 linebackers coming. Favero sneaks out of the first attempted tackle, but still loses 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and long once again. 2 of 5 on 3rd down for the Grizzlies, as another drive bogging down for Logan against a defense that comes in second in 4A as a scoring defense. They only give up 12.5 per game on the season, 13.5 in region play. Favero against a 5-man rush. He had a man underneath. Don't know if he would have been able to get all the way to the sticks, but it doesn't matter because McAllister drops it. So that's twice Favero's had receivers with the ball in their hand and they don't come up with it. Now that one was right on McAllister's forehead, maybe coming with a little bit of heat on it from not far away, but you still got to pull that in. Last punt was blocked by Ridgeline with 23 ticks on the first quarter clock. Logan's punting. Their punter standing right at his own goal line, and he does a great job to get this one away. A high kick that takes a Ridgeline bounce, and it ends up being a 10-yard punt. They were lucky it wasn't blocked for, at the very least, a safety. And Ridgeline once again starts with a short field.
Presentation coming up at the first quarter break. There comes.
We talk about this defensive Ridgeline as the offense takes the field. 27 sacks coming into tonight in 6 games. Perkins, Jones, and Clark all with 6 sacks apiece. But now it's the offense on the field. Daly with Livingston in motion, looking for Crew Jones, wide open down the seam, touchdown. He snuck behind the defense and into the end zone for the score, 24 yards.
It's a party here, Ridgeline on homecoming. Dane May will hold the kick, hold the ball, and Aaron Young kicking for extra point.
6 of 6 for Daly, as the PAT is pending. It's up and good. Daly 6 for 6, 159 yards. 3 of his last 4 passes have gone for touchdowns to Livingston, Clark, and now Jones. And the Riverhawks lead 28-0 with 11 seconds to play in the first quarter on the Game of the Week. Got 2 words for you, folks. Saucy Nugs. Devour them for yourself, and you'll soon discover how Wendy's flavor-packed, lip-smacking, ridiculously saucy those saucy nugs are. Big, bold flavors, spicy, sweet, savory, saucy. They're all the things. You can get them in 4, 6, 10, and even 20 pieces right now at Wendy's. Wendy's Saucy Nugs. It's all Ridgeline here at homecoming at Ridgeline High School as they lead 28-0. This kick's going to the end zone. And now, if you're the Grizzlies coaching staff, what what do you tell your team, right? You know they've got to be just demoralized. They haven't turned the ball over. They had a good drive going to start the game, but it's been nothing ever since. Had a punt blocked. And now you just go out there and go one play at a time and try to execute. You're not going to get 28 points back on one play. You just try to stack successful plays now. Ridgeline with 4 down linemen now. And a linebacker up, a 5-man front as they figure Logan's going to try to run it. They do hand it to Birch. Birch gains a yard. 10 carries, 13 yards in the first quarter for Birch, and that's the end of the first quarter of play. All Riverhawks in Millville, 28-0. KSM Music has the best deals and service in the Valley on band and orchestra rentals, offering the first month free, no commitment, return and exchange anytime. Repairs are included in the rental, and they have quality name brands, and they offer lessons in guitar, bass, drums, piano, ukulele, and more. KSM Music, a Game of the Week sponsor. Well, it's homecoming here at Ridgeline, so we've got different little things going on in between the quarters. They're honoring some different groups. Now they get the teams back on the field. This is 3 straight homecoming games we've done. Did the Logan homecoming game last week, Green Canyon the week before. The home team has lost every homecoming we've shown up at, but right now it's looking pretty good for Ridgeline as we get ready to start the second quarter. 28-0. Riverhawks, they've scored on all 4 of their possessions. Logan looking at a 2nd down and 9. As we get underway in the second, Reed Olson goes in motion. And they're going to follow up in behind him, waiting for something to develop, and nothing ever does for Birch. Cohen Richards, the first man there for Ridgeline. No gain, and it's 3rd and long once again for Logan. 2 of 6 on 3rd downs. Lavani DeMooney being part of the game ball as Birch gets it on the move out of the backfield. 6-yard gain, 4th and 4. Of course, Lavani DeMooney, a linebacker up at Utah, one of the top-ranked teams in the country, and he's a Ridgeline grad.
Johnson and Clark on the tackle for Ridgeline. Ryder Johnson and Cooper.
4th and a long 4, and Logan's going to kick it away. Punting has been a little bit of an adventure for Logan here in the early going. This one a good one. Backs up the return man. He takes it inside his own 40. Richards, I believe number 3, takes it into Logan territory down to their 48-yard line. No, it's not Richards. It's 13, Brady Cook. Ridgeline with a healthy lead. They're a good running team, so you could imagine them running the football, but I think they'll just keep running their offense. They fake the give, and then on the end around, here we go. Clark, all the way to the house. A little trickery, and a 48-yard reverse to Clark. Actually, it was the fake one way and then handed to Clark more on an end around, 48 yards and a touchdown. And Ridgeline doing whatever they want. Young's going to get tired running in and out for the PAT. That one's no good. 34-0. Ridgeline on top, 10:29 to play in the half. It's been easy for the Ridgeline offense tonight, 5 touchdowns, and we've played 1 quarter and 91 seconds of another. 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns for Ridgeline. Logan awaits the kickoff, now trailing 34-0. This one into the end zone again, and Logan will start at their own 20-yard line.
This game tonight.
Logan's offense back out on the field trying to get something going. Here's Birch picking his way through a lot of traffic. Looked like he had a pretty good gain, but that's because he was making guys miss in the backfield. He ends up picking up a couple. Logan's sticking with their game plan. And it's 2nd down and 8. Favero steps up, looking for an opening, picks up a couple. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Perkins tripping up Favero. That brings up a 3rd down.
Mountain Crest on top of Green Canyon in the 2nd quarter, 21-0. In a score of interest, Skyview and Bear River tied up at 7. That one's also an interesting score. Favero on 3rd and 6 and a flag. We've had few of those here this evening, a couple on Ridgeline. And this one, we'll see if it's an offsides or a procedure penalty. Offsides on Ridgeline, so it's going to be 3rd and short. Third and 1. Long 1, short 2, depending on whether you're a glass half full or glass half empty. But an achievable goal for a Logan offense that's been looking at 3rd and long all night long. Play clock finally starts. Hadn't been going. They're going to turn and give. They're going to be really close. I don't think they're going to quite get the 30-yard line. I think it's going to be 4th down. The official on the near side, it looked like the player had got to the 30, but the official on this near sideline, he's got a much better look than I do. And they're going to say he's just short. He picked up about a half a yard, did Birch. So it's 4th down, and they hurry up to the line and sneak it. They needed less than a yard. If they get him to the 30, then he's got a 1st down. Logan says they have a 1st down. Ridgeline says, no, you don't. And the officials say, no, you don't. So Logan needed a half a yard. They couldn't get it against that nasty Ridgeline front. I mean, they are big across that front. Crew Jones is 6'4", about 230. A couple of his teammates are even bigger. $34-0 Ridgeline. They take over on downs at the Logan, just inside the Logan 30-yard line. 8:30 to play in the half. It's been all Riverhawks. Daly throws it a little high to Livingston. He climbs the ladder, comes down with it, tries to spin out, and they're going to give him the forward progress of about 6. And Daly stays perfect on the night. Livingston's 4 catches, 108 yards. I think we've got our audio up and rolling. We had a little bit of an audio problem there. Our special on our streaming anyway. Special thanks to our spotter out there in Holly Pond, Alabama, who let us know. Here's Daly. Under pressure, pulls it down, looks for the end zone. Finds it. Touchdown, Ridgeline. So Daly has thrown for 3 touchdowns, and now he rushes for 1. The only place that Ridgeline's had trouble tonight is on the PATs. We'll see if Young can get this one up and through. He does. 7:35 to play in the first half. Ridgeline 41, Logan 0 on the game of the week. Hey, do you remember when bread was made naturally? Boy, the old grist mill, they sure do, and they bring back that tradition. They're simple, wholesome breads made with fresh milled, high-protein wheat for that rich flavor. And you go on in and you can get a free slice of bread and try it yourself and taste the difference. Proudly serving Cache Valley since the beginning, Old Grist Mill is Logan's home for quality bread and more. The Old Grist Mill, a Game of the Week sponsor. Again, those of you that have been watching on streaming, we apologize for some of the audio issues we've had. I think we've got it up and running now. So your peaceful evening now shattered once again by my not so dulcet tones. It's been all Ridgeline here at homecoming in Millville. Logan, a team trying to rebuild their program. 6 coaches in 9 years. Coach Nate Butts, who actually coached as an assistant here at Ridgeline. He's a South Carolina native. He was excited for that Logan job. Really feels like he can turn that team around. But in talking to him, it's fun talking to him because he's making it more about just what happens on the field. It's about building young men for life and not just for a football season. And I believe him, so hopefully the kids will buy in. It's tough on a night like this. They knew it would be tough sledding as they play the #1 team in 4A. And #1 is showing why they are ranked #1 as the loss there for Birch. Birch averaging 1 yard a carry, 14 carries, 14 yards. Logan's had a couple of opportunities. They couldn't convert on a 4th down, a catchable pass that wasn't hauled in and deep in Ridgeline territory on their first possession, but they just haven't had an answer for the Ridgeline offense at Nate Daly. Favero, the young sophomore, looks underneath. There's another pass that's dropped by McAllister. It's not that McAllister's been dropping all the passes. It's just another drop by Logan receivers. And the injury bug has bitten the Grizzlies as well. Neen is out. One of their main linebackers is done for the season, as is their leading receiver, Pingree. Unloading is Favero. His receiver ran it 12 yards. Favero threw it at 10 on the out, and it's 4th and 12. Favero 6 of 11 for 56 yards, no turnovers. He comes into this game a 63% passer, 1,247 yards, 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. That's been Favero's bugaboo, is the interceptions. He had 4 last week. Again, a sophomore quarterback with a sophomore running back, some sophomore receivers really thrown into the fire. On the run, on the punt return. Ridgeline looking to score on special teams as well. It's going to come back because there was a blindside block. Kyan Taylor was really walloped on one of those peel back ear hole blocks. And those are not legal anymore. So that's coming back. That's at the 35-yard line. The ball will be placed at the 50, I believe. That's a 15-yarder. That's another thing Ridgeline will have to talk about at halftime. They don't have much negative to talk about, but penalties have been a little bit of a problem here for Ridgeline in this first half. That's 4 for 50 yards. And we're going to be in running clock territory in the second half. At 34 points, the clock continues to run in the second half until the other team gets it down. I believe it's under 21. I'll check that at the half, but it's 41-0 right now, and Ridgeline looking for more. They have not been kept out of the end zone yet. Logan bringing some heat. And 2 defenders meet at J.T. White, and it's a 1-yard loss. White 4 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. You look at that offensive line, a freshman, their center. But they are big, and they are talented, and they are tough. G&T pull on this one. White down the sideline. Touchdown. No flags. Five carries, 70 yards, and a house call for J.T. White. He got stopped for a yard loss on first down, and then he took it personal. Ridgeline pulled 2 of those linemen, and they opened a hole that I probably could have run through. Young on for the PAT. 5:41 to play in the first half. Ridgeline 48, Logan 0 on the game of the week. Hey, did you know that Custom Fence has been around since 1960? Yeah, they serve multiple states. They offer versatile fencing solutions from everything from residential to high security installation in areas like airports and prisons. No job too big. They can even do the small stuff. Visit customfence.com for a quote. Custom Fence,
a Game of the Week sponsor. Now they're playing the funky music here in Millville as Ridgeline has found the rhythm. They put it in the end zone every time they've touched it. This one returnable, right at the goal line. Look out. Tried to cut it back in, did Jensen. As the defender had an angle to him, and he ends up being brought down. But not until after he gets it up to about the 26-yard line. Best starting field position in a minute for the Grizzlies. Beautiful night here in Millville. We've had our resurgence of summer here the last few days. As a winter guy, I would like it to go away, but it really has been fantastic. It's hard to argue with it. I'm one of those sick people that like wintertime. The canyon was beautiful coming through. The leaves are bright, and it's worth a drive this weekend. No gain on the give to Avila. The Grizzlies have been playing from behind the sticks most of the evening. Again, if you're just joining us, they trail 48-0. They took the opening kickoff, marched into Ridgeline territory, and on 4th and 9, it looked like they had a completion inside the 20. But the ball went off the hands of the receiver, and it's been all Ridgeline ever since. They've blocked a punt. They have not come up with a turnover yet. Favero looking for Birch. Birch didn't even see it coming. 3rd down. You mentioned earlier Coach Cox for Ridgeline telling me what a luxury it is to have that their down linemen that they do, knowing that they could just send 3 and cover with 8 if they want to and still get pressure. Now they brought 4 and 5 tonight. This time 3 with a linebacker coming late. Favero recognizes it. They throw from where the defender vacated, and on 3rd and 9 they pick up. Let's see if they picked up enough for a first down. They did.
That's a first down, Logan.
The receiver took a wallop, but he held on. Seven of 13 for 65 yards for Favero. I think we're going to get a timeout now as the play clock was winding down. Now they're going to reset the play clock. The official stopped play as both sides run on some replacements. They've kept Reed Olson quiet. 1 catch for 5 yards. He's the second receiver in at the bottom of your screen. Give it to Avila, and he's chopped down for no gain. Landon Perkins with the tackle. And Avila's slow to get up. He got taken down right around the knees, and he cannot get up. He was punching the ground, and with 4 minutes to play in the first half, they come out to take a look at Avila. We'll hope it's just a cramp and nothing more, but he took a shot low. 48-0 Ridgeline. Hey, do you have an event coming up, a party or something, and you want some good food? You know who you should call? The Factory Pizzeria. Yeah, they have 6-foot sandwiches. They've got their awesome pizzas, salad trays, and more, all available for catering from the Factory Pizzeria, right? I don't know if you always think of them, but their food is so good. Why not serve that at your next gathering or party? And you'll have people talking about your party for a long time. The Factory Pizzeria, a Game of the Week sponsor. Avila walking off under his own power. So that's good to see. No gain for Avila on the first down run, so it's 2nd and 10. Favero and Birch in the backfield. Remember, an all-sophomore backfield for Logan. Favero and Birch. As their coach said, hey, we just need a few more birthdays. Favero steps up. Now he's going to run. The linebackers come up quickly, but he picks up 3 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 7. Favero's only been sacked once tonight. His line's done a pretty good job there, but he has been under some duress. And this is one of those situations, if you're a lineman for a rusher for Ridgeline, you can just pin your ears back. They're going to bring 4. Crew Jones figured out that a screen was coming, and he stopped his rush, backed out, and he ended up making the tackle. It's a gain of about 4. It'll be 4th and 3. You could see the light go on in Crew Jones' head. As he was coming full bore after Favero, and he stopped and turned and hightailed it toward the receiver and ended up being in on the tackle. 4th down and 3. 4-man rush. Favero steps in, looks across the middle, has his big tight end for a first down. 13 yards on 4th and 3. Credit Favero for hanging in there against the rush that was collapsing the pocket. 2:10 to play in the first half, 48-0 Ridgeline. Logan trying to get something going. Here comes pressure. They're going to give it to Birch as he runs right into the teeth of those extra rushers. He loses a yard. Birch 15 carries, 13 yards. He had 2 carries for 11 yards on the first possession. He's picked up 2 yards total in the last 13 carries. Just hasn't been any openings for him. And they're bringing a bunch again. Throwing into some traffic is Favero. Boy, his receiver, that's a funeral ball that he threw. Hospital ball, not a hospital ball, funeral ball. High and a little bit behind the receiver, running into the teeth of the defense. His receiver's slow getting up, but he's up. And it's 3rd and 11. Favero threw that one into traffic. He's done a good job of avoiding that today. The interception bugs bit him the last few weeks. He's taking good care of the football tonight. Over the middle he goes to Olsen, and it's just out of his reach. And now we got a little bit of a kerfuffle going on back at the 45. The official's there and breaks it up. 4th and 11. Ball at the Ridgeline 43-yard line. It'll be a running clock in the second half. It's 35 points when it starts to run until they get it under 21. Wide open underneath is Birch. Has to secure it before he can get running, and he stopped short of the first down. He needed 11. He got 8. He didn't catch it clean, and so he had to stop and make sure he brought it in. And that may have cost him the first downs. So it turns over on downs at the 35-yard line to Ridgeline. And their offense back on the field, leading by 7 scores, 48-0. I guess 6 if you go for 2 every time. Daly unloads it underneath. This one tipped away and incomplete. For Daly, that's his first incompletion of the night.
10 for Ridgeline.
He's 7 of 8, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns, coming off a 300-yard game, 307 and 3 touchdowns last week against Bear River. Daly's really had it going on. Spread formation 2-by-2. White in the backfield with Daly. White's gonna, that's not White. It's a different back. It's Livingston. Daly's in trouble. Looking for an opening. Somehow he gets out of it. Daly's got running room. Flag way back at the 30-yard line as Daly picks up big yardage.
That's Nate Daly on the scramble. Penalty marker.
55 yards, 53 yards, except there's a penalty marker back at the 28-yard line. And Coach Cox is not happy. We'll see what the call is. I got to find the white hat. He's out there near midfield by the logo. Having a chat with one of the other officials who's actually happens to be my neighbor. He's a great resource to help me with rules every year. Unsportsmanlike conduct. That flag came during the play. Did they toss somebody? I mean, you're up 48-0. There is no reason at all to be pulling shenanigans. You don't need to show anybody anything else. You're already doing whatever you want. And Coach Cox is hot on the sideline. Travis Cox is a competitor. He didn't like that. And so instead of a first down deep in Logan territory and a chance to put a 50-burger on the board in the first half, Ridgeline is back at their own 20, and it's second down and 25. Daly throwing to Livingston. Livingston waiting for some blocks. Back to the middle. Turning on the Jets. He's got blockers. Livingston all the way to the 20-yard line. 60 yards, and here come more flags.
Nate Daly has to grab Livingston. Big yardage. First down and more. Penalty marker.
See what the penalties are.
Those involved in teacher appreciation, if you please.
Personal foul against Logan. That's going to be half the distance to the goal.
Presentation.
So that takes it down to the 10-yard line. By my count, that's Logan's first penalty of the night. Meanwhile, Ridgeline has 5. 36 seconds to play in the first half. First and goal at the 10-yard line for Ridgeline. Second and 25, doesn't matter. We're going to go for 60. They're number 1 in 4A for a reason. Daly fires across the middle and just behind his intended receiver.
Pass incomplete.
Second down.
Intended for Jeff Woodland.
Woodland, the intended receiver. Second and goal. 12 seconds to play in the half.
Tim Rasmussen, Brooks Osborne, Julie Majors.
Ridgeline gets the ball to start the second half. It'll be interesting to see if they play any of their starters in that second half. They're leading 48-0. Daly looking to the edge for Livingston. Livingston's got a block. Racing for the pylon, steps in for the touchdown with 3 seconds left in the half. Huge night for Livingston. 6 catches, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. Daly, 10 of 12, 235, and 4 touchdowns. Young's kick is good. 3 seconds left in the first half. This is not a mistake. Ridgeline 55, Logan 0 on the Valley Channel Game of the Week. Man, if you recognize this bumper music that we play every week, then I know you may need to think about Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. 1, you listened to it too loud when you were younger, and 2, you're old enough to know what most of this music is. So that may mean you're wondering and worried about your hearing. Well, you improve your life and the lives of those around you with today's hearing aid technology. Dr. Paul Danes will customize a hearing program just for you. Don't miss out on the joys of life. Call Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology for an appointment today. You know, they're footloose and fancy free tonight in Millville. It's everything going Ridgeline's way. The kick's going to go out of bounds. The one thing they haven't done well is silly penalties. They've had 4 of the unsportsmanlike conduct variety or a personal foul type variety. That one's a procedure penalty as it goes out of bounds. 3 seconds left in the first half. Logan will get it at the 35-yard line. And they're in the 2-by-2 look with Birch in the backfield. Hand it off to Birch. Birch looking for an opening, and he's going to take it down to 000s on the clock with a 2-yard gain. And we'll head to the locker room. It's all Ridgeline. Homecoming in Millville. Riverhawks 55. The Logan Grizzlies 0 on the Game of the Week.
I want to succeed in athletics, but I also want to succeed in school, and I also want to help my family and my community. And so I think through being balanced and juggling all these things, it leads me to fulfill those wants and then be happier because of it.
You're trying to get the out. In order to have a fulfilling and well-rounded life, you have to do a lot of different things.
She goes to her classes and she does her sports.
I don't really know how she does it. She goes to every day with just a smile on her face.
I think everyone can have a drive, but it's the people that actually choose to feed this hunger are the people that stand out. Your hunger to win has to be bigger than anybody else's.
If she sets her mind to it, she's going to accomplish it, and I have no doubt about that. Whether it's she needs to drop 3 seconds on her time, she needs to get a better grade on her math test.
Bill is just one of those people who, whenever I see you do anything, you always have this drive.
There's a drive there that comes from wanting to be everything that her mom set in motion in the first 13 years of her life.
My mom was one of my closest friends, so she had such an immense impact and influence on my life that when she died, my whole world was kind of turned around.
She was heartbroken, as you would imagine. She knew she had all these little ones looking to her. She was only 12 years old, but she became the person who was handling it.
I'm trying my best, I guess. It's been hard. She was such a big part of my life, but I'm doing the best I can.
She's a beautiful runner. It's just amazing to watch her run.
She's a tremendous sister, tremendous daughter, caring soul, remarkably proud of Chilean.
She has so much responsibility in her life. It's also amazing that she does it with such humility and grace.
When you lose your mom and your sister, you realize how precious every day is, and you want to make the most of every day. You sort of set high goals for yourself, and you sort of work to achieve them.
Sheer will and I don't know, passion and I don't know, but to get themselves there quicker than anybody else, to reach down deep, push through that pain, that both mental pain where you just want to stop, you want to give up, and that physical pain where your legs and your muscles are screaming, and just get yourself there.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years.
Back at Ridgeline High School, Eric Olson along with you as we get set to start the second half here in Millville. Ridgeline leading 55-0. That means there's going to be a running clock in this second half. The rule is once you get to a 35-point lead in the second half, that they keep the clock running, right? They don't stop it on out of bounds. They only stop it at select times. And if the team that's down gets back within 21, then they start keeping the time as usual. Crew Cox is warming up for Ridgeline as their backup quarterback. I would imagine they're going to see a heavy dose of backups, especially for Ridgeline in this second half. It was dominant for Ridgeline. It shows on the scoreboard, it shows in the stats. Logan with 16 yards on the ground, 90 through the air, 106 total yards. Easton Favero, 10 of 18 for 90 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Birch, the leading rusher, at 15 yards on 16 carries. Birch also the leading receiver, 4 catches, 26 yards. For Ridgeline, they had 145 yards on the ground, 70 by J.T. White on 5 carries, including a 50-yard touchdown run. Clark had a 48-yard touchdown run, and that's 145 yards rushing in the first half. Daly with a 10 of 12 first half, 235 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2 of those touchdowns to Livingston, who had 6 catches for 178. Jones and Clark had 24 and 20-yard touchdowns. Knighton caught a pass for 13 yards. 380 total yards for Ridgeline in that first half. They had a long halftime with all of the homecoming festivities, and now we're just about ready to get the second half started. And taking a look at some of the other scores in Region 11, there's a couple that really kind of stand out and are a little bit surprising. The one that's surprising is Skyview's trailing at the half. Spanish Fork is number 2 in 4A behind Ridgeline. They're beating Westfield, the Region 11 member, 42-14. That one at halftime, and Ridgeline will get the ball to start the second half as Logan kicks it into the end zone. Skyview trailing at near halftime in their game at Bear River, 14-7. And Mountain Crest at the half was up on Green Canyon, 28-0. Green Canyon has really been bitten by the injury bug the last few weeks. They had a good game last week against Logan, but they were without a few of their players, and you know they've got some dings. So it is going to be Cox at quarterback for Ridgeline. There's nothing wrong with Daly. They're just calling off the dogs here at Ridgeline. Cox has Lindsay behind him. He's going to turn, and actually he's going to keep it as Cox, and he's flung down for a loss of about 5. You want to know what's scary for Ridgeline? Argyle with the tackle there. The scary thing about Ridgeline, 17 or 18 juniors start for this squad. So they got a lot of guys coming back next year off a team that's just loaded already. Low snap, Cox turns and hands it off to Lindsay. Lindsay gains a yard.
Rather, Jackson Lindsay.
Hammond's still in there, so most of your offensive line is still in there. I want to talk about that offensive line. I mentioned earlier, I mentioned it a couple times in our opener about that was their question mark. They felt like they had some talent, but they just didn't have a lot of experience, and that line has really gelled. Dave Caressa, one of the great position coaches in the entire state of Utah, is one of the coaches there for that. They're going to swing this to the outside on 3rd and long. Look out. Clear out in near midfield. 35 yards on 3rd and long. That was Raiden Taylor.
Raiden Taylor, big yards on the reception, moves the chains, first down. That's Raiden.
My goodness, that's only the second 3rd down of the evening for Ridgeline. They've just moved the ball. Lindsay making a miss in the backfield. Picking up 8. Well, back to that offensive line. You've got, and Coach Cox talked about his offensive line coaches, Jeremy Iwani, KG Uluave, and of course the great Dave Caressa. And what a job they've done with these linemen, and a lot of it's toughness and teaching these guys toughness. I had a great talk with Dave Caressa before the game about his line and about really as the snap is dropped on 2nd down, it's 3rd down and 7 now after the loss. But Dave Caressa talking about his line, and it's great to talk to an experienced coach, somebody that's great at their craft, and to listen and to learn. And I could sit and listen to these guys all day long. I could sit and listen to Dave Caressa all night long as he talked about, you know, working with these linemen and how the things that they've done and how they've got them to the spot that they are. But they are playing very well. 3rd and 7. And they throw the flag as Lindsay is in motion early. 7 penalties now on Ridgeline. One of the few negative things that has gone against Ridgeline. So it went from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 12. On our last 3rd down, they got 35 yards. Everybody in tight. Cox, the backup quarterback, in there, throws across the middle, complete. Very near the sticks, about 2 yards short. Cook. Cox put it right on him. He fired a bullet in there. And it's going to be 4th and 1.5 yards, and Cook slow to get up, and he walks off, kind of limping and favoring his right leg. Ridgeline keeps the offense on the field, leading 55-0 with 7:45 to play in the 3rd quarter. Turn and hand it off. 1st down and more. Lindsay scoots down to the 20-yard line.
That's Jackson Lindsay, number 33, dancing up the middle.
18 yards for Lindsay.
Right on the tackle for Logan.
The clock continues to run. Taylor motions out. Cox has to go down to get it, hands it off to Lindsay. Lindsay stays on his feet, down to the 15, pick-up of 5. His first carry went for 1. His last 2 have gone for 8, 18, and 5. So he's at 4 carries, 31 yards. We're talking all about that offensive line, and they said, hey, let's open some holes for these youngsters. Some snaps have been a little low this evening. That one's perfect. They hand it to Lindsey again. He gets down to the 10 and a first down.
Lindsey on the carry again for Ridgeline.
I mean, he's getting 3 yards before anybody's even touching him. They're getting such a good push up front.
That's just been turned in. Somebody may want that.
Up behind Tayson Knight and that freshman center, big number 55. First and goal right at the 10-yard line. Cox can't handle the snap. That's about the 3rd time on this drive. We've had trouble with that snap, and it's a loss of 5. No, that's not. They weren't going to call that a first down. He didn't get a first down, so it's 4th and 5. So they're going to bring Young out to kick a field goal.
Dane May will hold, and Aaron Young will attempt the field goal.
32 yards. He's had a PAT blocked. This one, plenty of leg. And they say no good. And it's wide. 4:50 to play in the 3rd quarter, and the score remains 55-0. Ridgeline cruising to a homecoming victory. Get your pizza fix at the Factory Pizzeria in Logan. Enjoy daily specials on their famous hand-tossed pizza. Swing by for their Monday special. Buy a large 3-topping pizza, get a free small nacho, or stop in on $5 Wednesdays, $5 nachos and $5 wings, all at the Factory Pizzeria. Logan takes over after the miss. Favero. Olsen was trying to cross, and he ran right into a defender. And Favero's lucky he didn't get it picked. It wasn't his fault. It's just his receiver got hung up. You see, the clock shouldn't be stopped. It's an incomplete pass that should be running. It's a running clock. And the White Hat's telling him that. Favero's going to turn, hand it off. Birch looking for an opening. Birch has 11 yards and a first down. 17 carries, 26 yards now for Birch. Logan has Mountain Crest next week. Then they're at Cedar, and they end the regular season at home against Bear River. First and 10, they hand it off to Birch again. Picks up about 3. You look at Ridgeline's remaining schedule. Skyview next week. I mean, that's going to be a huge football game. Although Skyview losing tonight, they've been on a heater with that, and then that huge win against Orem for Skyview. We'll get back to it here in a second as they hand it to Birch on 2nd down and 7. He picks up about 6. Then Ridgeline goes to Mountain Crest, and then they end up the regular season at home against Westfield. 3rd and 1. Our regular season schedule is as follows. Mountain Crest at Logan next week, then Ridgeline at Mountain Crest. That should be a good ball game. Then we finish off with Skyview at Green Canyon. Give it to Birch, looking for first down yardage. He's got it, going against a mostly JV defensive Ridgeline. 3 yards for Birch and a first down.
First down, Logan.
For Logan, it doesn't matter who's out there. You still want to run your offense. You want to have some success. Do what you do. See if you can put some things together. .240 to play in this third quarter. Ridgeline with a comfortable 55-point lead. Hand it to Birch. He's in the backfield. He's on the ground. Owen Lishman, the sophomore, puts him down for a 1-yard loss. That's Birch's 21st carry, 21 for 35 for Birch. You look at the top 5 in 4A, 3 of them are teams right here in Region 11. Ridgeline number 1, Spanish Fork number 2, Crimson Cliffs, the defending champs, number 3, then Green Canyon and Skyview. Green Canyon losing to Mountain Crest right now. Skyview losing at Bear River. Procedure on Logan stops the play, only their second accepted penalty. So Mountain Crest might jump back into the top 5 if they get that win over Green Canyon. Mountain Crest was in the top 5 earlier. Crimson Cliff started the season, I think, 0-2, and then they've won 4 in a row. They were very good last year, but they graduated a ton of kids. Pulling the guard, now looking underneath. Logan gets their penalty yardage back and then a couple more. McAllister with the grab. 8 yards, May puts him on the ground. And it's third down. Third and 7. Logan needs a timeout. Favero didn't like something. He turned and was pointing and talking to Coach Butts. Coach Butts comes out and meets him on the hash, and they're going to talk about it. 1:08 to play in the third quarter. Ridgeline 55, Logan nothing on the game of the week. Hey, are you in charge of your camp or your reunion next year? Well, get down to the logo shop and get to work with them, and they'll help you design your own t-shirts or even sweatshirts for your camps or your reunions. They're always a big hit, and they'll help you design some. It'll be just awesome. The logo shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. Now, Ridgeline burning down the house tonight with a 55-0 lead over Logan. Logan has a little bit of a drive going here, trying to put some points on the board, not be shut out. Ridgeline sending some heat. Favero throws it a little bit behind Jensen, and Jensen can't haul it in. Personal foul, roughing the passer on Ridgeline. So that's going to be a first down. Ridgeline with another big penalty.
Penalty on the field, roughing the passer.
90 yards in penalties. I like to joke around with our producer and talk about those 70s tunes he always plays and give him old jokes. And now he's throwing in some 80s stuff just for me on our bumper music. Appreciate that. Keep it going. Gen X rules. 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Logan, after the penalty in Ridgeline territory. Olsen can't handle the pass. And it goes incomplete. Logan, we'll see if they get a playoff before the end of the quarter. They don't have to snap it if they don't want. I imagine they probably will. 10 seconds left in the quarter clock. Hand it off, a little bit of room off the right side for a new running back for the Grizzlies, Quinn Pendry. Pendry picks up about 7, and we're heading to the fourth quarter. Ridgeline 55, Logan 0 on the game of the week. Well, we like to talk about the music here on our Valley Channel Game of the Week. We're both music lovers. You know who loves music and is great at it? KSM Music. Their sales, they buy, sell, and repair all types of musical instruments, including guitars, basses, drums, horns, woodwinds, you name it, many, many others. Call or come by the store for estimates and other information about those services at KSM Music, 50 West, 4th North in Logan, a Game of the Week sponsor. We start the fourth quarter here in Millville. Number 1 Ridgeline leading Logan 55-0. Logan has a drive going, their best drive of the game since their opening drive. Handed to Pingree, and he picks up about 5.
Crosby West on the tackle for Ridgeline. Pingree on the carry for Logan.
Ridgeline playing with mostly backups here on both offense and defense. Ridgeline had 1 offensive possession, and they missed a field goal. This is Logan's lone offensive possession here in this second half as the clock ticks down toward the 11-minute mark to go in the ball game. Little handoff, gains about a yard. They're still having a lot of fun down below me, the student section. They're stomping their feet, waving back and forth, have their lights on their phone. I'll tell you what, the atmosphere in this place before the game started, it was, they got a good thing going here at Ridgeline. They were juiced up. Favero looking up top, his receiver cut the pattern off. It was McAllister. Favero raised up. McAllister had turned it inside. Favero threw it deep.
Brings up third down.
11 of 22 for Favero, 98 yards. It's third down. 3 of 10 on third down for the Grizz. Ridgeline showing heat. They're bringing a linebacker. Now they go back to it. And it's just out of the reach of Jensen. They stop the clock momentarily on the incomplete pass, and as soon as they set it, they wind the clock again. Logan going to try a 46-yard field goal attempt. It's blocked. Up into the air, into the hands of one of the Riverhawks. Touchdown saving tackle by Easton Favero, the quarterback, because that one was going to the house. So you have to really get into it, drive it if it's long like that. And sometimes you don't get much air underneath it. And that one was low and blocked by Ridgeline, and the Ridgeline offense will take the field.
So many good things happening tonight with the band and the Ariettes, the crowd.
And this is the first homecoming game we've done this season where the home team's going to win. I'm starting to think we were a jinx. Ridgeline wants a timeout. They were a little bit discombobulated. All the backups in there. 55-0 with 9:27 to play in the ball game. Ridgeline cruising. Hey, with Wendy's new breakfast for 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles, you can mix and match your very own perfect pairing of their delicious morning favorites. Choose from sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles at breakfast at Wendy's. Cox is going to put it in the air, and it's going to go incomplete. His first incompletion. He's 2 for 2 before that. 2 of 3, 45 yards for Cox. On in relief with Daly. Daly finishes the night 10 of 12, 235 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's tossed 7 touchdowns in his last 2 games, thrown for 500 and almost 550 yards. Here's the handoff. Good for 12 yards.
That's number 27, Caden Weiser on the carry for Ridgeline.
Weiser, the sophomore running back.
First down, Ridgeline.
Ridgeline's got a lot of their backup linemen in there now. The first possession they had their starting offensive line in there. Now they got a lot of backups and even on their offensive line. Been a running clock situation here in this second half with that big lead. Here's Weiser, stiff arm off the right side, down the sideline, steps back in, and he gets clear down to the 25-yard line. 21 yards for Weiser.
On the carry, moves the chains, first down, Ridgeline.
2 for 33 for Weiser.
Quarterback in for Ridgeline.
They hand it to him again. This time he bounces it out to the left. Picks up 10, 11 yards before they finally put him on the ground.
Up the middle. Moves the chains.
Logan with pretty much backups along their front line as well in there. Ridgeline continuing to move the ball even with all backups in there. There's Weiser again, spun down after a gain of about 5. You know, Daly, when I talked to Coach Cox about him, I was asking him about him, and he said, you know, from 20 yards and in those passes kind of 20 yards and closer, he is really good. That's his strength. He said his deep ball is getting better, and he's working well on that zone read. He said, you know, for next level, these kids all want to play next level, right? He said next level, the thing to work on for him is those on-time throws. He said, but in high school, I mean, that's just something you don't see that much as Weiser punches it in from 15. 4 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown for Weiser, all on this possession. They don't even have Young kicking anymore. Now they've got a backup kicker in there. And that one's blocked. That was Beck Huntsman. Ridgeline, 61 on the board. 7:05 to play in the ballgame. Ridgeline 61-0 over Logan. From humble beginnings to a leader in the fencing industry, discover the journey of custom fences. We continue to deliver excellence and innovation in every product. Visit CustomFence.com for a quote for your fencing needs. That's Custom Fence, a Game of the Week sponsor. Stansbury's leading number 3 Crimson Cliffs 21-14 in the 4th. Spanish Fork on their way to an easy win over Westville. Mountain Crest, end of 3, still leading Green Canyon 28-0. Skyview and Bear River now tied up 14 apiece in their ball game. This kick goes into the end zone, and Logan will take over at the 20-yard line. Well, they got in field goal range, long field goal range on their last drive, and had the field goal attempt blocked. Let's see what they can get going here. You say, well, maybe they'll bring out some of the youngsters. Well, they're playing with the youngsters. The youngsters are starting. It's Favero and Birch and others. There's a lot of young players. And we're talking sophomore young on this Logan team. Favero. Receiver turns inside. Favero threw it outside, incomplete. We talked about our remaining schedule at Mountain Crest next week. Ridgeline at Mountain Crest the week after, so we got the Mustangs 2 weeks in a row. Then we see Skyview as they are at Green Canyon for our final regular season game. The playoffs begin after that. We'll pick up the playoffs on the 1st of November. And we'll have that matchup for you as time goes on. Ball's on the turf. Ridgeline trying to recover. Let's see if they do. They do. First turnover of the ball game for either team. Logan had done a good job hanging on to the football. And now Ridgeline takes over inside the 10. Already leading 61-0. It's just been all Riverhawks all night long. If you're just tuning in to check this one out. Logan took the opening kickoff, marched deep into Ridgeline territory, got 4th and 9. Looked like they had a completion to pick up a first down inside or near the 20-yard line of Ridgeline, but the ball bounced off the hands of the receiver. And then it's been all Ridgeline ever since. Logan on their last drive got into a long field goal range and had it blocked. And now Ridgeline's offense back on the field. Both teams playing right now. The Logan defense and the Ridgeline offense playing deep into their backups. Nearly picked off as Cox was looking for the slant.
Intended for Hunter Shawley, incomplete.
It's been a running clock the entire second half. 5:10 to play in this ball game. Turning hand off to Weiser. He's going to run for a touchdown. From 6 yards out.
Touchdown, up the middle, Caden Weiser again.
5 carries, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Weiser as he's having himself a fourth quarter. He's a sophomore for Ridgeline. PAT is up and in. 68-0. Ridgeline cruising to a happy homecoming. Now's the time to save at Anderson Seed and Garden in Logan. Enjoy some great deals on fall garden essentials. Don't miss their outdoor decor and supplies. Hurry into Anderson's for some of the best prices of the year. Anderson Seed and Garden, the Game of the Week sponsor. Well, Ridgeline with 90, let's see, 126. I'm going to start adding up their rushing yards. They put up some yardage here tonight.
Aaron Young, touchback. There's that famous hot screech we've been waiting for.
They're over 200 yards rushing on the evening.
Here the hot screech comes again.
They're 230 yards on the ground, and they've run the ball well all year long. Coach Cox and I are talking about it. He said, you know, he knew with the staff that he had, they'd get the best out of their players. They just need to know who those players were going to be. Is Logan with the handoff, and a nice little run out there by Pingree. He's got 4 carries, 26 yards, all of them here in the late going. When I asked Coach Cox about this game, hey, you know, do you worry about your team kind of letting down? Logan is struggling. Ridgeline's, you know, got a big game against Skyview coming up. Could you look past a struggling team like Logan? And he said, you know, we've got some huge goals. We treat each week the same, regardless of who we're playing. It's homecoming and everything that goes on around that. We know that, so we're just worrying about us. There's 12 to 14 games in a high school season if you play all the way to the end. And every game is important, every single one of them. So he said, we worry about us, and if we do what we do well, then that gives the other team a lot to worry about.
Number 80 and others.
40 yards on 6 carries for Pingree. 85 yards rushing for Logan as the clock runs down toward the 3-minute mark. Favero looking to the sideline, has his man. Coming back for it and hauling it in is Claiborne. He's near the first down marker, not quite. Well, he's just about a yard short is all. Not even a yard. Hand it off to Pingree. Pingree into the secondary. Finally hauled down at the 25-yard line. A 22-yard gain for Pingree. So 98 yards rushing for Logan tonight. 105 through the air for Favero after that last throw. 2 minutes to play in the ball game. Logan trying not to give up a shutout. Pingree another 4 yards.
Please stay for the fireworks. Fans, students.
Hey, fireworks. They're just announcing fireworks after the game. All right. That'll be great. 1:40 to play. The clock continues to roll. 68-0 Ridgeline. Dominant performance. Logan moved early. They went ahead and just let him snap it off there. The reception's good. And Claiborne picks up 7. Now, really, the only drama in that left in this ball game is will Logan break up the no-hitter? Favero looking for his back out of the backfield, a gain of a yard as he finds Ivan Estrada. And we're under a minute to play. Estrada with the catch and the run. Heads for the sideline. Coach Butts meets him there. Congratulates him on the catch and the run. Quick throw inside off the hands of the intended receiver. Kyan Naylor is just a little bit behind him. Now it's 3rd and 10. 30 seconds to play in the ball game. Will Logan get into the end zone? Will Logan put up some points? I mean, it really doesn't matter, but I think it matters to Ridgeline. They want to preserve that shutout, and they send some pressure after Favero. They take him down for a 9-yard sack. And the clock's just going to run out on this ball game, as it's been all Ridgeline. The Riverhawks will celebrate a happy homecoming with a dominant 68-0 win. Next week we are at Mountain Crest, the Mustangs and the Grizzlies. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time on the Valley Channel.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. Custom Fence Company. Privacy, security, peace of mind. Anderson Seed and Garden. Growing better gardeners. KSM means music. Music is all we do. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 30 years.